Now, let us continue with this pre-colonial kingdoms in Malawi. So we have just looked at the first one, and the first one we have looked at the Malawi kingdom. So we saw to it how the Malawi migrated from the Lubalunda country in Zaire and settled had their final settlement at the Untitled-Chapter, and later on they decentralized into other areas, or the kingdom grew very big to the extent of reaching Mozambique and Zambia. We looked at that. So as we said, we are going to look at the two pre-colonial kingdoms. So the first one, we looked at the Malawi, but now we are now going to look at the TUMBUKA-NKHAMANGA kingdom. TUMBUKA-NKHAMANGA kingdom. So let's again be together. Let's move smoothly together so that we see when we hear that they are the Tumbuka up the north there. Who are they? Where did they come from? And what did they do for them to settle there? So we are going to look at the TUMBUKA-NKHAMANGA kingdom. So the TUMBUKA-NKHAMANGA kingdom, it was established in the northern part of Malawi. So we have to know that the Tumbukas, they established themselves in the northern part of Malawi. So when we talk of the Tumbuka, the first Tumbuka territory, this one, it was located in the present day Rumbi, Chitipa to the north. So Rumbi district, and it was between Chitipa and Mzimba in the south, and the Ruangwa Valley. So it was an area, a very big area, comprising the area between Chitipa, Rumbi, Mzimba, and even part of Zambia, that is Ruangwa. Now let's look at the location of this Nkhamanga, or the TUMBUKA-NKHAMANGA kingdom. So at first, these people, the Tumbuka, they only settled in the Henga Valley. So when we talk of the Henga Valley, we talk of the area. If we travel from when we travel from Mzuzu, going maybe to Kalonga, we pass through Kwezi, all that area. It is they called the Henga Valley, the Kwezi area. That one is the Henga Valley. That's where the South Rukuru River passes through. So that is the Henga Valley. So inhabitants, however, they were decentralized. Remember, centralized system of government whereby authority was with one person. But these people, the first people to settle in the Henga Valley, they were decentralized. They were only organized under the clan heads. So just as if you can connect with the Protocheva, we said that those ones, they were also organized under the clan heads. So when the Malawi came, they were the ones who put them together and form a centralized political system. So the people who settled in the Henga Valley, at first they were decentralized. They were only organized under the clan heads. So, however, at the peak of its establishment, this Tumbuka kingdom, it extended its boundaries to Ruangwa River to the south. So you can see, we said that at first it was only in the Henga Valley, but they extended up to Ruangwa, that is beyond Nkatabe as we go to Nkhotakota. Then South Rukuru, again Ruangwa Valley, and Lake Malawi. So it was very big, and at its peak, again Bolero in Rumbi acted as the headquarters of the kingdom. So Bolero later on became the headquarters of the kingdom. So Bolero is when we branch to Rumpi now in the main road as we go Mzuzu Kalonga, then we branch to Rumpi, then we go past Rumpi about 15 kilometers. That's where there is 15 kilometers to the west of Rumpi. That's where there is Bolero, even up to now. So that one, that Bolero, it was acting as the headquarters. So let's look at the origins. What were the origins of the Tumbuka-Kamanga people or Kamanga kingdom? So the people that we have said that they settled first in the Henga Valley, they came from Upangwa in Tanzania. They came from Upangwa in Tanzania. So they were led by leaders like Luhanga, Mkandawire, Kachali, Kumwenda, Mzumara, Msoya, Harawa, Nyirongo, Nyanjaga, and Muhango. So those ones, even Nyirenda, the Nyirendas were there. They were the leaders. So you can see to it that there were a lot of clans that migrated independently, not led by a certain prominent leader. No, the Luhanga, they were led by the Luhanga, the Luhanga leader, Mkandawire. They had their leader like that. As we have said that they were they were decentralized. They were not having a single leader. So the leading, however, the leading clans in politics, they were the Luhanga as well as the Mkandawire. So the Luhanga and the Mkandawire, they were the leading ones, influential ones among those clans. So the Kachari, on the other hand, they were controlling religious affairs and produced the priest. So they later they were joined by other groups of the Poga, Kamanga, and the Henga. So later on, the Poga, Kamanga, and the Henga, they also joined this bandwagon of the Luhanga, Kachali, Nyirenda, Muhango. Yes, they joined them. That is the Henga, the Kamanga, and the Poga. So the Tumbuka kingdom, it was established. So the kingdom that we are going to learn about here, it was established by uniting all these clans. So all these clans, they were brought together. All the clans that we have mentioned here, all of them, they were joined together to form the Tumbuka-NKHAMANGA kingdom. So let's look at the common unifying factors among the Tumbuka. So the Tumbuka, the groups that we have just mentioned, what were the common unifying factors? Although we have said that they were different. So number one, simple agriculture. That is, they were cultivating crops and pastoralism, that is rearing of animals. And also barter system of trade. They were exchanging some of the basic things that they needed. And also common language. They had the common language, and they all spoke the Tumbuka language. And also another unifying factor was religion. Religion is a big unifying factor, even up to this time. People can differ in politics, can differ in whatever, but they are united in religion. So all clans, they worshipped the ancestral spirits of the Chikangombe cat. So they were worshipping at Chikangombe hills. So they were united in the worship of the ancestral spirits at Chikangombe hills. So Mwadandambi of the Kachari, he was the priest. He was acting as the priest. So remember this gentleman, Mwadandambi, Mwandadambi or Mwadandambi. This one was the chief priest or the priest of the Chikangombe cat which united the Tumbuka together. Now, let's look at the early Tumbuka political organization before the BALOWOKA, before the coming of maybe the other group that we are going to talk much about them. So these Tumbuka, these clans of the Tumbuka, they had this decentralized system of government, as we have already mentioned. So there was no hierarchy because they were just in small scale groupings, and they were independent of each other. So that's how they were. We have mentioned this one. They were independent of each other. And number two, they had no standing army of its own. That is, those clan heads. Of course, they were living like in the same area, but each clan was independent, each like organized under each village to say, okay, this is the village of the Kumwenda, this is the village of the Mkandawire, but they were not like together to say we are all under one leader, although they had one religion, although they had one language, but they were different. So they had no standing army of all the Tumbuka. Yeah. So during political crisis, it's only the Ruhanga and the Mkandawire that intervened to form the common front. So the Ruhanga and the Mkandawire, sometimes they could join to form maybe something big. So that is how the Ruhanga and the Mkandawire became influential of others. Now let's look at the formation of the Tumbuka-NKHAMANGA kingdom. Now, the Tumbuka-NKHAMANGA kingdom, it was formed, or their history changed when there was the arrival of the BALOWOKA. BALOWOKA. Some call it BALOWOKA, but should be BALOWOKA. B as Va. Remember, Bantu, it's Bantu. Yeah. So they came, the BALOWOKA came from Nyamwezi. Nyamwezi also in Tanzania. They came from Tanzania. So after crossing the Lake Malawi, then they crossed and reached a place known as Mtawali. Mtawali is just at Chirumba in Karonga there. So they settled among the Tumbuka in around 1750 AD. So their leader, the leader of this BALOWOKA was Kakarara Musavira Gondwe. So this one was the first Mlowoka, or the leader of the BALOWOKA. So when we talk of Mlowoka or BALOWOKA, it means crossover, crossover. So now it means you can get the point there that we have said that they crossed what? They crossed Lake Malawi. They crossed Lake Malawi from that side of Tanzania, and they crossed through until they reached Karonga, then proceeded into the Henga Valley, where they settled among the Tumbuka in 1750 AD. So other people, prominent BALOWOKA, they were the Katumbi, Mwalweni, Mwamlowe, Mwahenga, Mwazisi, Mwachande, and Mwafulirwa. So these ones, they were together with the Kakarara Musavira Gondo. So they traveled together. So they were so prominent. So they used peaceful penetration into the Tumbuka land. So when they arrived among the Tumbuka land, they settled there peacefully. So they did not engage into wars or any kind of conflict. So this was possible because they came as traders. So why did they use peaceful penetration to settle among the Tumbuka? The simple reason is that they came as traders. So they penetrated among the Tumbuka because they came as traders. So as a trader, you cannot engage into conflict with your customers, then your trading will not be possible. Let's look at the reasons why the BALOWOKA migrated to Malawi. Remember, we also looked at the reasons why the Malawi migrated from Zaire to Malawi. So here we are talking of the BALOWOKA who came from Tanzania, crossing over the Lake Malawi, settling among the Tumbuka. Why did they come? So they were looking for ivory and leopard skins in the Tumbuka area. As we said, they came as traders. As traders, they had their trade items. So they heard from their land there that no, in the other side of Lake Malawi, there is a lot of elephants. There are a lot of elephants, so let's go there to get the ivory and the leopard skins. So they came here for trade. They were also looking for peaceful land to settle after the tribal conflicts in Tanzania. So apart from looking for trade items, they also came to settle because in their land there were some conflicts, civil wars were there in Tanzania. So they came to settle in the peaceful, or to find a peaceful area to settle. And also drought made them to look for food and land for cultivation. There was drought there in their land where they came from in Tanzania. So they were looking for land to cultivate and settle. Now, how was this Tumbuka-NKHAMANGA kingdom created? How was the Tumbuka-NKHAMANGA kingdom created? So when BALOWOKA came among the Tumbuka, it was easy for them to build trust among the indigenous people, as we have mentioned, because they came as traders. So they easily built trust among the Tumbuka because they came as traders. So slowly they began to assume leadership roles as locals began to look up to them for guidance and assistance. So look at it in this way, to say, we have said that the Tumbuka were not organized, they were not centralized. Now the other people now came under one leader, they were organized. And they were moving now and again from this village to this village, to this village, to this village, now and again. So they acted also like the unifying factor, to say if they needed something, they were looking up to these strangers who came to say, we need horse, go to the BALOWOKA. We need so thing, go to the BALOWOKA. As a result, they were easily looking for assistance from the newcomers. Hence, we are saying that they assumed the leadership position or roles. Now we have to look at the factors. What were the factors for the establishment of the Tumbuka kingdom, or how factors for the establishment of the BALOWOKA over the Tumbuka? How did the BALOWOKA win the confidence of the people of the Tumbuka? Number one, allegiance to the local chiefs. So allegiance to the local chiefs exposed MALAWI to the ruling class and gained political influence over them. So when MALAWI or Kakarala Msawira Gondwe and his friends, when they came, they were so alleged to those leaders. As a result, it was easy to have to get the influence from them. And again, gifts. So MALAWI gave the blue band cloth turbans to the chiefs. So the locals were given also iron hose and beads. So the iron hose, they were the precious gifts to the agrarian Tumbuka, the people who were just cultivators. They were farmers. So this made the clan heads and their followers to remain friendly to BALOWOKA. So we are saying that he also used the gifts to give to the people. So like to the clan heads, he was giving them the blue, black cloth turbans or the headband. So that one, they were putting it around their head so that they should be identified that, oh, this one is a leader of maybe the Mkandawire. He's a leader of the Luhanga, things like those. So he was giving them those things. And not only that, to the local people, he was giving them hoes. So, you know, the Tumbukas were said that they were just farmers and they were given like a machine to advance their farming. So all of them, they remained friendly to Mlowoka or Balowoka. And intermarriages. So intermarriages between the Balowoka and the Tumbuka, that one also won the confidence of the Tumbuka to say he has become one of them. They have become one of us by marrying us. For example, the leader of the Balowoka, Kakarara Msawira Gondwe, married the Tumbuka prominent clans of the Luhanga and Mkandawire. So he therefore became directly connected to the political system of the Tumbuka. So he married from, the leader married from their clan, and then he became so influential to them. And another factor was trade. So Balowoka members, remember the members that came with the Kakarara, Mwahenga, Mwachanda, Mwazisi, all those Mamlowe, they were sent out to control trade into the strategic areas which they were where they could find ivory. So therefore, they accumulated wealth and powers to control the area. So remember, don't forget that they came to look for ivory. Now, when Musavira Gondwe, Kakarara Musavira Gondwe, settled among the Tumbuka, he also sent his delegates or his subjects, the people whom he came with, to go into strategic areas to control the ivory. Hence, they accumulated much wealth to control the people. And not only that, also tactfulness in approaching the village headmen with the initiative of introducing royal emblem, that is the black cloth turban. So therefore, he was tactful to introduce himself to the leaders with the royal emblem, that is the black cloth turban that was that was in his head. So he was wearing that one to say, I am the leader of the Tumbuka, or of the Balowoka. I am a trader, things like those. So he was so tactful. So this that made chiefs to be regarded as the most important people in the area. Now, as he was introducing himself in that way, he was also sharing them to say, who is the leader? Who is the leader in this village? This one. Then he was sharing them that black cloth around their head to say, a leader must be identified, just as I am identified as a leader. So with that, they were able to know who was the leader and who was on top of the other. And the other factor why the Mlowoka also won the confidence of the people, the Tumbuka, was the adoption of the Tumbuka language. So when Mlowoka and his friends came, they quickly adopted the language. They left their language of Tanzania and started to learn the Tumbuka language and the Chikang'ombe cat. They also adopted the religion that is of Chikang'ombe cat. So these ones, they unified the two groups and exalted Kakarara as a hero politically. So the main aspect of religion of Chikang'ombe cat was the rain making process, the rain calling at Chikang'ombe. When there was drought, they could go there for rain calling, and they were able to worship those ancestors.